launch control center, which is that capsule underground, 60 feet underground. So because we had, someone had to be wide awake 24 hours a day, we took turns taking little rest breaks. We had a little cot down there. So my commander, Colonel Fred Mywald, was taking his rest break. Sometime in the evening, I'm going to guess around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the evening, I get a call from my topside guard. We had about 6 guards up there on ground level, and they're used for security purposes at the...
Pull that mic a little bit closer.
Yeah. Security purposes at what we call the launch facility. So the launch facility is about a mile or two away in a kind of a circle around the launch control center.
Got it. So the actual nukes are about a mile away.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so we had 10, and they were pretty much always on alert status, meaning they were green, ready to launch. And like I said, we could launch them in seconds. It didn't take long. Anyway, the main guard calls down and says, "Sir, we've been seeing some strange lights in the sky. Overhead, flying directly overhead, making really weird maneuvers. They're not airplanes, sir." And I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, they're able to fly very fast, stop in midair, reverse course, make 90-degree turns. There's no engine sound. Airplanes don't do that, sir. These are not airplanes." I said, "Oh, well, what are they? UFOs?" I even use that word because we had reports of lights in the sky from local residents in Great Falls, Montana. We had reports in the newspaper, the Great Falls Tribune, and that's where we all lived, in Great Falls. Great Falls and Malmstrom are about 100 miles to the west of us, where we were. We were near a little town called Roy, Montana, just due east of Great Falls. Anyway, I didn't quite know what to make of his report. I said, "Well, thank you." But he kept saying, "These aren't airplanes. They couldn't be airplanes."
How many of them?
He didn't say how many. He said there were multiple sightings of these things.
You can pull this up like this and pull it a little closer too. You don't have to scoot in. You can actually move it to you.
Okay.
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thanked him for the report. It was not, I didn't consider it a joke or trying to
Prank or something.
A prank or something like that. But basically I said, "Thank you. Let me know if anything more interesting happens." And hung up the phone. And
what time was this? Do you remember?
9:30, possibly 10, something like that. It was dark outside, though. I remember that. We don't have any windows, and we don't have any video up there either at that time.
Right.
Okay, so I hang up the phone. I go back to my book, and he calls back about 5 minutes later and says, and this time he's screaming into the phone. He's yelling, he's babbling, he's frightened. And finally I calm him down. I said, "Calm down, tell me what you're calling about." He said, "Sir, there's a glowing red light." Basically, he didn't say object, he said a light, a pulsating reddish light. I've got all the guys out here. They got their weapons up, pointed at this thing. And
their weapons?
Yeah. And
did anyone shoot it?
Well, that's a possibility. I'm not certain, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But he said it was hovering right above the front gate. It was just sitting there above the front gate. And that front gate is about, I'd say, 12 feet high. What do I do, sir? What do I do? And, he was panicking. He was very panicky. Of course, this was shocking to me, but I had to take it very seriously. Of course, I didn't know what to do. Never had an experience like this. I said, you're in charge of security up there. Make sure nothing enters the fenced area. Do whatever you have to do. You're in charge of security of the whole facility. So he said, okay, sir, I got to go. One of the guards just got injured. He hangs up the phone. I look over at, just out of, reaction, I looked over at the board. We have a status board of lights. And we had all green lights at that point. So I turn around and go to the cot where Colonel Mywalt, my commander, was taking a rest break, wake him up, start to tell him about these phone calls. And then all of a sudden we get a large horn go off, and we know what that means. It means that there's an issue with one of the missiles. So we look at the board, and sure enough, one of them went from green to red. No go, no launch, no ability to launch.
The missiles that are a mile away from you right now.
Right. Yeah, we have indicator lights.
Even though this
shows the status.
This thing is here where you guys are. It's not over by the missile silos.
Right.
Okay.
Well, not then.
Okay.
And then very quickly thereafter, bing, 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 all 10 of them went down. They all went red. We jump up, of course, and go through our checklist. We have a checklist to do when that happens. I noticed there were, at 2 of the launch facilities, there were incursion lights, which means that possibility somebody or something entered into the fenced area where the missiles are. And so I called back upstairs because I've got to send guards out there, take a look, to drive out there and find out what's going on. And of course, I asked about this red light. He reported. He said it just flew off. So just as he picked up the phone, so it was there when these missiles went down. The guards, I'd sent two sets of guards out to those sites. They got within a mile away and again saw this light or these lights just above those missile sites. And they were scared to death, still scared, very frightened.
The doors were closed above the missiles, right? There's doors on top of them.
There is a kind of a hatch that goes over the top of the silo of the missile. You can see it there on the left.
Got it.
It's on rails normally, but if it got stuck, we'd blow it off in order to launch the missile. But yeah, so there were UFOs seen by those guards over 2 of those missile sites, and they didn't want to go any further. They were so frightened of these things, their experience seeing one up close. So.
How many guards are there at the actual missile sites?
We had about 6 to 8 security people upstairs, and we'd send them out 2 at a time.
And they said that these lights were just hovering right above the missiles.
Exactly. So we excused them from going any further. Normally they would go to the site, open the gate, look around. But in this case, we had them come back to the launch control facility. And on the way back, they lost radio contact, which is another indication of UFO activity. UFOs seem to be able to interfere with radio contact. Anyway, The guard that got injured, I later got a report from somebody that was aware of this incident and lived in the barracks with these security guards. And he said he had remembered hearing two possible scenarios. One is he injured his hand because his rifle jammed and he tried to clear it and injured his hand somehow. And another scenario was, he fired at the object, then tried to clear it, his weapon. And then another scenario is he did grab the barbed wire fencing that we had around the facility and cut his hand. At any rate, he had to be sent back to the base for treatment. But it was a minor thing, and it was nothing that the UFO did to him.
Sure.
It was something.
But you're not sure if anyone actually fired on it?
I'll tell you why. The next morning, we were relieved by another crew. The first thing I did is go upstairs and talk to these guys, or try to talk to the main guard anyway. He wouldn't talk to me. And he was only an airman. I was a captain, or, well, not quite then. I was a lieutenant, but I was his commanding officer, and he wouldn't talk to me. I said, "What?"
What'd you say to him?
I said, "God damn it, you tell me what the hell you saw again. I want to hear it." And he stammered, and finally my commander told me, he's probably been told not to talk to me. At any rate, we were helicoptered back to the base right away, and then ordered to our squadron commander's office. And as I walked in, the first thing I said to him was, "What the hell was that? What's going on here?" And he was white as a sheet. He said, "I don't know. I have no idea." And then there was a guy with him from AFOSI, Air Force Office of Special Investigations. He shoved a piece of paper at us, said, "Sign here." I said, "What's this?" It's a non-disclosure statement. You're never to talk to anybody about this, ever. No one in the Air Force, no one, none of your family members, nobody. I said, "We've already got above top secret clearance. All you have to do is tell me not to talk." I know.
Right.
Said, no. You have to sign this. And so we were both ordered basically to sign these NDAs on penalty of spending a lot of time in Leavenworth Prison.
Wow.
It had that typed right in there.
Wow.
If we ever spoke about it. So we signed, and after that, we were unable to talk to those guards. And they called me the next morning. I don't know how they got my home number. I was living in Great Falls with my wife, and they begged me to come out and talk to them, and I couldn't.
Who?
The guards.
The guards.
Yeah. They wanted to talk to me about it, thinking I would know what the heck's going on here.
Right.
Of course I didn't. And I had to turn them down, but that really hurt. Having to turn down these guys I couldn't even talk to.
Mm. When the missiles went down and you got all the red lights, they all went offline.
Mm-hmm.
What was going through your mind? Had that ever happened to you before?
Never. I mean, every now and then a missile would go no-go or go down for some technical reason, but those were single instances, never multiple missiles going down.
More than one.
Never more than one for any reason. I was there for 3 years, and that never happened. These were very reliable systems. And by the way, we didn't lose power at any time. This was not a power failure of any kind. We always had power because we had redundant power. We had Montana Power. We had diesel backup, diesel generators backup, and the battery backups also.
Wow.
On the missiles. So they had triple power support.
How long were they down for?
Well, again, we were relieved by another crew. I can't tell you exactly, but in general,
You're not allowed to say how long they were down for?
I would say a day, possibly two, because we had to send crews out there physically.
A day or two?
Yes.
Whoa.
Because we had to send crews to each of the launch facilities to go through a targeting procedure. And that was a little bit involved, but, not, it took a little time for each missile, let's put it that way. But there was no damage to equipment.
Once you got, how are you able to get everything back online?
Like I said, they went through a procedure, and again, through checklist procedure.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to go through retargeting the missile to make sure it's targeted properly.
Got it.
But again, there were never reports afterwards. And of course, we'd go out there about every 3 or 4 days, usually to the same flight, Oscar flight in my case. And there were never reports of any equipment failures as a result of this incident.
That's wild.